it's a transformational moment for us. We become one of the first companies in Chile's history to be awarded this contract, the SEOL, Special Lithium Operations Contract, to produce lithium in Chile as a fully privately owned company with no public involvement beyond royalties and taxes.
Hello, you're watching Proactive. I'm joined by CleanTech Lithium CEO Ignacio Mehech. Ignacio, very good to speak with you again. You were the country manager at Albemarle, one of the world's biggest lithium producers. What drew you to CleanTech Lithium, and what's your read on where the lithium market is heading?
Hi, Stephen. First of all, a pleasure being here with you again. Yes, I said, I think the last time we met a year ago, I was explaining why I joined CleanTech, and the sentiment hasn't changed at all. On the contrary, I think we are closer to where we need to be. So I believe, and I joined CleanTech because I believe we can be the next company producing lithium in Chile after more than 30 years. All the work that has been done in the past few years and during my tenure during this last year just puts us very close to FID and to production, and definitely closer than any other company in the country. And well, regarding the lithium market, it has had a big change since I joined the company. Not because I joined the company, but hopefully it has something to do with it. But yes, the price of lithium has increased 150, 160% over the last 12 months. It's now above $20 per kilo, and also the sentiment and the fundamentals are very strong. If you just see a note that Canaccord published a few days ago, they are already forecasting 10 years of deficit until 2035. They're forecasting higher lithium prices than previously forecasted. So both fundamentals and sentiment finally together on a bullish run with lithium.
Ignacio, Chile has a new government in place. How significant is it that CleanTech secured one of the only long-term operating contracts awarded to a private company? And what did it take to get there?
Yes, I've said it, it's a transformational moment for us. We become one of the first companies in Chile's history to be awarded this contract, the SEOL, Special Lithium Operations Contract, to produce lithium in Chile as a fully privately owned company with no public involvement beyond royalties and taxes, of course, but the project is 100% ours. There was a lot of back and forth with the government. We applied originally for the streamlined process last year, and then we had to reapply again by the end of last year. And finally, in March 9 this year, the government announced the award of this SEOL to us. And as I said, it's transformational because it allows us, it gives us certainty for 40 years on the contractual conditions, and also because we become one of the first companies to be awarded one of these SEOLs. And this new government has pledged to respect and also to progress very quickly the SEOLs, and maybe award some other SEOLs in the future. And it's a very pro-market and pro-mining government. They have already announced some legal reforms aimed at optimizing environmental permitting processes and timings, and make it more predictable so companies can invest and get into production faster. So all in all, tailwinds for us as well with this new government and their aim to increase mining, and in particular lithium as well.
The PFS shows a pre-tax NPV of $1.37 billion and an IRR of 24%. Walk us through the headline numbers and what makes Laguna Verde genuinely competitive on the global stage.
I think it has to do first with the jurisdiction and then with the technology. Chile is a very well-established mining jurisdiction. It has a very well-crafted infrastructure. In fact, if you look at Laguna Verde, the project is 1 kilometer away from the international highway that goes to Argentina. It is 4 hours away from the ocean, so you can get supplies and ship your product quickly. We have in Chile a very strong and very skilled workforce. There's a lot of availability of renewable energies close to the project. So first of all, is the country and also the certainty, legal certainty that the country provides. And secondly, it's about the technology that we're going to implement. DLE allows you to selectively recover lithium from the brine, and then as it's very selective, it reduces cost downstream to get to lithium carbonate. So if you look at our pre-feasibility study, you can tell that we are without lower than $6 per kilo in OPEX, and that positions us comfortably within the first quartile of cost. So it's both very low OPEX, technology that selectively extracts lithium, and also the jurisdiction that allows you, gives you certainty, and also infrastructure.
The PFS unlocks the strategic partner process. Who are you talking to, and what does the ideal partner look like? And also, when do you expect to reach a decision on this?
Well, yes, we have actually engaged a company called Cadfield and Freeman to support us in this process to select the best partner for the project. The process is ongoing. We have shortlisted a long list of companies across the lithium value chain. So you will find from miners to cathode producers to refiners to battery manufacturers to OEMs, off-takers, traders, etc. It's a broad list. We are open to reviewing value propositions from different parties. And in the end, what we want is to select the company that makes the best fit for the company, and also that adds more value to the project going forward. The process I expect it to be running through this year and should be finalizing by the fourth quarter of this year.
Ignacio, you're running process trials in North America and Chile to produce battery-grade lithium carbonate. Why does that matter so much to potential partners, and when will you have those results?
Yes, yeah. We announced last year in January that we had already produced some battery-grade carbonate in the US, but we are progressing that activity with Empower, which is our partner in the US, and we're going to be producing around 300 kilos of battery-grade lithium carbonate. It is to show, first of all, that lithium carbonate of high purity can be produced from Laguna Verde brine. And also in Chile, we are doing the end-to-end process from DLE, concentration purification, all the way to the lithium carbonate phase. And the aim of that is to show that our flow sheet, the flow sheet that is in our PFS, which is the same flow sheet that we are running with our partner Laguna at the moment, is strong and can provide the results that we have said it can. So it's the objective is dual. First of all, is get some companies to test our product to see the quality and see what comes from Laguna Verde. And second of all, strengthening the story behind our PFS flow sheet and proving with numbers that it behaves similarly or even better than what we have shown in our PFS.
There's an outstanding legal claim in Chile. Can you give shareholders an update on where that stands and what the potential implications are?
Yes, well, first of all, I have to say that we firmly reject the allegations, and we're actively responding through the appropriate legal channels. And the most important thing to point out at the moment, as this is ongoing, is that this complaint is not material to the company's operations or to the SEOL or any of our strategic plans. The claim is about some licenses that are not part of the SEOL, are not owned by the company that is awarded the SEOL. So it's some satellite noise that we're dealing with. Of course, we believe there's no merit to the claims, and we'll deal with them and report to the market as there are any news.
Fox Davey is about to publish a research notes on CleanTech Lithium. Without preempting it, what do you think independent analysts will find most compelling about the Laguna Verde story?
Well, it's a good question, and I think what they have to find is that our project, our company, is massively undervalued vis-a-vis our peers. With the project numbers, meaning OPEX, CAPEX, NPV, I think our valuation should be much higher. And I believe that's also an opportunity for investors and shareholders because I believe with the story that we have, and now, in fact, I'm in Europe meeting with investors just to, refresh the story, the SEO, the PFS, strategic partnership process, and also the potential ongoing process to dual list in Australia by the third quarter of this year. All of these stories are not valued in our share price, and I think what they will find is our company needs to be revalued, and that's also our aim, to get a revaluation of the company for what it's really worth.
Ignacio, I hope you'll keep us updated with your progress. Thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you, Steven. A pleasure.
Ignacio Mehech, the CEO of CleanTech Lithium.